Hey, welcome everybody. This is KBAP 88.1 FM in Batesville, Arkansas. Got my radio voice on for you. I'm Tony Hammack. I pastor Jubilee Family Church in Quail Valley over here on the east side of Batesville. I'm here with my good friend Lonnie, the big man Biggers, and he always chuckles when I say that because, well, Lonnie, you're just not the biggest guy, are you? But your last name's Biggers, so it's a good nickname. So big in IQ, you got a good IQ, and it's good to be with you. And we've been talking a lot of things since we last talked. You know, the United States and Israel have collaborated to start attacking Iran. I don't know, we haven't really talked a lot about that backstage, but I do want to start with that, I think, with the invasion into Iran. I get a little bit concerned that, you know, the psychology of the Iranian people is going, as a society, is going to be different than the psychology of the United States of America. And what I mean by that is I remember George W. Bush pitching the idea to the American people that we have liberated Iraq from Saddam Hussein and we've given them freedom. You know, we've given them what everybody wants, freedom, and ISIS just took over. You know what I mean? Like the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, they filled that power vacuum, and it became a mess. And I remember too, I think it was Hezbollah or Hamas. I get those mixed up, but I remember we had just toppled Saddam Hussein. There was an election in I think it was Hamas. They were green. They had green flags, and they voted in. The citizens voted in Hamas, supposedly.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't count every vote. Okay, so I don't know if the election was rigged.
Arafat, wasn't that his name?
Yasser Arafat, but that was after Arafat, I think. Okay. Arafat was the guy. He was the Palestinian Authority guy, but this was after him, and they had voted this in, and man, there were thousands of people on the streets waving these green flags, asking for an Islamic caliphate, you know, asking for an Islamic theocracy, whatever you want to call that, a different form of government than a democratic representative republic with a constitution to govern, you know, kind of sort of what we have. So it's interesting to me that, you know, and two, if you look at, I took a cue from a buddy of mine, but I started watching Russia television, RT, on YouTube. RT is like a propaganda arm of the Russian government. So you watch RT, and they'll interview Iranian citizens in Iran who are crying because their father was murdered by the United States of America. And their father is the Ayatollah Khomeini. You can't say his name right now, though. They've repronounced his name. My whole life, he was the Ayatollah Khomeini. Now he's Ali Halakomahina. You know, you can't even say it anymore. It's like we've been mispronouncing this guy's name for 40 years. And then we kill him, and now he's got a whole new pronunciation of his name. Everybody speaks Farsi now. You know, I'm like, what the heck happened with the Ayatollah Khomeini? No, that's not how you say his name. Ayatollah Khomeini. Like, gosh, I can't even say his name anymore. Anyway, so I'm concerned that, you know, I don't really know how much support there is in Iran for a quote unquote free government. And let's remember the Shah of Iran was a king.
Yeah, he was.
And it was a monarchy, and he was toppled.
Yes, he was.
So why was he toppled? Was everything just wonderful in Iran when okay, so something was going on. I don't know the exact history.
Yeah, it wasn't wonderful.
It's before my time. I mean, I was born in 1969. I think the Iran hostage crisis was around 74, 75 when Jimmy Carter was president. So we're going back a long way. I remember being a kid in St. Louis, seeing on the cover of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch every single day.
It was a little later than that because it was right before Reagan was voted.
A guy wrapped up with a bag on his head. They had a picture of one of the hostages.
Yeah,
and they kept it on the front page of the paper every single day. And they had people with red ribbons on their trees outside of their houses. You know, different things. Anyway, so this whole ideological issue. Like I've got a buddy that lives in Pakistan, I call him a buddy. He's a minister of the gospel, and he oversees several Christian churches in the hundreds. And he's 10 miles from where the citizens of Karachi attacked the U.S. consulate, and 10 people were killed. Now, I don't know how they got killed. I don't know what happened. I don't know if people inside the U.S. consulate had weapons and fired on the crowd. I don't know what happened, but 10 people died in Karachi, Pakistan, because they weren't happy. They were not happy that we bombed Iran and Israel bombed Iran. So there's a way of thinking out there that's pretty much in agreement with what I think. And then there's another way of thinking out there that's not in agreement with what I think. And I'm concerned that we'll have, and it's interesting too that regime change was the narrative. We heard it for a long time. Okay, we got to get a new government in here. The people are protesting. We need to support the people. We're going to give them an opportunity to overthrow or topple their own government. And then yesterday, Marco Rubio comes on, who I like. I like Marco Rubio.
Yeah, I do
and he
too.
said, our goal is not regime change. It's destroy their ballistic missiles, set back their nuclear program so they can never have a nuclear weapon, destroy their Navy. That's our objectives. Well, it's like Charlie Brown. When Charlie Brown was doing his archery, he was shooting his bow and arrow into a fence. And so he'd shoot his arrow into a fence, and then Lucy'd go up and draw a bullseye around wherever it landed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you change the target, it's easy to hit it.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
I didn't know that.
Well, we can't. I mean, how could we possibly? How are we going to put in a new government? I mean, we could boots on the ground, CIA.
Well, he
infiltrate.
said yesterday or day before yesterday that it is possible that we will put boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there isn't. I don't know if there's a way to solve this issue, and I don't know if it is solvable, but without putting boots on the ground. So.
Well, people have a will.
Yes, they do.
And if you believe in the concepts of the collective will, which it seems like our form of government relies on the collective will of the citizenry, which I would call a democracy.
I would call a republic.
Our government is a republic, but the idea that we're going to rely on the collective will of people is a democracy.
Yeah, yeah.
So if all the people are stupid, your government's going to be stupid.
Well,
if all the people are brilliant, your government's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
You're going to vote in the right people. If you're a moron, if you're in an ideological weird place and everybody in your culture is like that, you're going to vote for people that support your ideological values. It's like Pete Buttigieg, this guy, Mayor Pete, he's gay.
Yeah.
So who'd all the gay guys vote for?
Well, I think they'd probably vote for
Pete
him.
Buttigieg, they want him in there because he represents their values.
Yeah.
So you voted for Ben Carson in the primary. Why'd you vote for Ben Carson?
Because he's a
great Christian man.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Man, how could you go wrong with Ben Carson? He's a little soft, maybe, speaking, but that doesn't mean he's not going to carry a big stick. You know what I mean?
That's right.
He could speak softly and carry a big stick. I don't know.
I think it was Theodore Roosevelt said that, wasn't it?
So we all vote for people and want to put people in power that represent our values, at least in perception. They might not always do it. They can lie, but we try to do that as a society. So my concern is that there's in America, they're half the country's crazy. The other half is less crazy, right? So we
that would be me and you, right?
Well, like you can survey people in America and survey 1,000 people that cannot stand Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You could put together a news piece for another country and say everybody in America hates Trump. Watch this. Hey, what do you think of Donald Trump? Man, he's a garbage. He is a racist. He's orange. He's bad. He's the bad orange man. He's horrible. I mean, you could line them up. So when the media says, "Oh man, the Iranian people love it that we bombed their country," I haven't really decided I agree with that yet.
Well, I know a portion of them have. There's in Los Angeles.
Yeah, but Los Angeles is not Iran though.
No.
But they're former Iranians.
They're jumping up and down in the streets.
Iran because they hated it.
Yeah.
So that's a population of people that obviously don't like the government. or they'd still be there.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I get it that people from Iran who have fled the country come to the United States are like, heck yeah, man, bomb him, but get that guy out of there. He's garbage, because they already left. They already think he's garbage. But I've watched videos of women crying with burqas on.
Yeah.
With photos of the Ayatollah Khomeini in their hand, over their head, holding a photo of the Ayatollah crying. And I listen to men talk about how they'd lost their father, the leader of their country. And I watched, I think, probably 7,000 to 10,000 people in a crowd chanting "Death to America."
Yeah. But there's people right now that were recently in the streets. They are overjoyed because the United States took him out. I mean, so it's kind of like it is here in America.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We got the same issues. Some are over here and some are over here.
What if 70% of Iranians are these death to America people?
Well,
and 30% of them are like, no, we need a free government. We don't need a theocratic government. We need a secular government. We can practice Islam all we want in the mosques, but leave it in the mosque. Separation of church and state kind of idea for Islamic ideology. Of course, Islam is not really the same as Christianity because, Muhammad wasn't Jesus.
Quite a different guy.
Yeah, he wasn't Jesus.
Yeah.
He wasn't a type of Jesus guy. He was a lot more violent and more involved in the natural affairs of things, where Jesus was much more spiritual. Although he was involved in things, but anyway, so I get concerned.
Well, we should be concerned because just for the simple fact that it is the Middle East. That's where the bad stuff's going to come down one of these days. If not today, it will be. That's where Israel's going to have armies camped on their own territory again.
Yeah.
Yes, again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All of it's troubling because of the fact that we know. Let me say this: we know probably more as Christians. If you've read your Bible, then you know things down the road don't look good. Not at all. They don't look good. So. And that's what I keep thinking of is now. Are we entering that phase of world?
I've wondered that with the peace issue. One of the telltale signs of the Antichrist is peace,
right.
And there is no peace.
Yeah, and when
Trump's gone out here and ended all these wars. Yeah, which I celebrate that, of course.
I do too.
I'm glad,
absolutely.
But then at the same time.
He started one.
He started this one. Yeah.
Well, actually, he and Israel did together this.
Well. But let me say it this way. I'm going to spin it the way the administration spun it. They said, "Hey, we didn't start this war.
Yeah, it's been.
They started it 47 years. They've killed thousands of Americans.
Yeah,
we're finally going to do something about it, though.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
That is one way of looking at it. You know, they didn't fly jets over the United States and bomb Washington D.C.
No.
But they have been
every chance they got
shipping lanes.
Every chance they got to kill Americans, though they've done it, except for the ones that during Obama's time when they had them. If you've seen that photo where they've all got their hands up here behind their head, and there's about 10 or 12 of them in a boat, and they took over that boat for a period of time before they released it. But they didn't kill those guys, and really, I don't understand why, except for the fact that there may have been retaliation over that because it was well publicized.